Hello everybody, it's your boy N here. I'm coming at you guys with another YouTube video. So, in today's video, I'm going to give you the buffing god Ajax. So, the biggest thing about this buff is the fact that you can in fact give everyone in your lobby basically permanent crits. So, let's get on into it. Starting off with mid-air maneuvering is going to be your maneuvering module. For the red module, it's going to be Matrix Recompulsion. Now this is going to be the module that allows you to do it. If we look at the effects from this module, you can see from Defense Simplification that you give a negative 25% skill cost out and a defense increase along with shield diversification, which gives a 20% base crit rate from my understanding. So this makes it so that you basically don't need very much to build into crit, and you can get 100% crit rate very easily. Now because this is a support style build, we're going to be going with cooldown as our #1 priority for Ajax. We're going to be going with focus on tech and focus on non-attribute, and then we are also going to be pairing that up with MP conversion along with nimble fingers. This will allow us to reach the cooldown cap, and we also need to keep in mind Ajax's passive, which at level 3 gives a cooldown reduction rate of 20%, or even at level 1 it does, but yeah, this is good. So this is what we're going to focus on to get our cooldown cap. Next up, we're going to focus on range. Now with Ajax, 2 range mods is more than enough, and because we're not doing, capture cards tweaking, never mind, the entire thing is tweaking. Alright, we're back, we are back, okay, sorry about that. Because the range doesn't matter and the max expandable range is 300, we're going to be using skill expansion along with, okay, never mind, my PC is tweaking as well. We're going to be using skill expansion along with maximize range, so this will pair up together to give us the best amount of range. Next up, we're going to have duration. Duration is incredibly important on this build, so this is going to be our main source of everything. So we're going to be going with skill extension and maximize duration. Now for our third module, we will be going with Battle of Stamina. This will give us a nice little kick of duration, but also some HP, which is going to be very nice. Now next up, maximize conservation is going to be our final mod, because we want some skill costs so that we can spam this stuff effectively. So for our trigger mod, we are still going to be going with Power Beyond. This is simply just because the fact that you get the 15% increase in damage is basically all it's good for. You can put Supply Fortress in here or pretty much anything. It really doesn't make that much of a difference. Now, let's have a look at the other parts of this setup. Let's start off with the Reactor. But before we do that, let's quickly slide in Ajax's weapons. And my PC is frozen again. Oh my god, my PC is tweaking so badly. Right, let's put Ajax's weapons in. Starting off with the Peacemaker. This is going to be our primary movement weapon. Next up, we're going to use the Relic. So the Relic is going to be a nice little DPS weapon. And then to finish it all off, we are going to go with a little bit more DPS. So we're going to be going with a Last Dagger in this instance. So that's going to be our weapons. We'll come back to them a little bit later. Now for the Reactor, you just want to go with cooldown and duration up. Ideally, this is a support build. It can be any Reactor. It doesn't matter, but I've got a non-attribute tech one, so I'm going to use that. Now for the external components, with Ajax, you've got pretty much 2 options. You can go with a little bit more duration, or you could go with cost and duration. For duration off the bat, we will be going with Firebrand. 2 pieces of Firebrand is going to be good. Then you can choose between 2 pieces of Ascending Armory and 2 pieces of Annihilation. So you can go with either Annihilation for 5.7 more duration, or you could go with skill cost with Ascending. They both work very well. I've not had issues with either of them, so I'm just going to stick with Ascending. For the substats on here, you're going to want max HP, MP recovery out of combat, max MP recovery in combat, MP recovery modifier and defense, and then also max shield and shield recovery modifier. For your cores, you're going to want max HP across everything, and you are also going to want defense across everything. For the Arche tuning tree, which is the next part of this build, let's have a look at what we are going to be slapping on over here. Now again, with the tree, it is basically not tuned towards DPS, but more quality of life, if anything else. We're going to go this way to go down and grab skill cost as well as range. Then we are going to go up to get some more MP recovery out of combat. all the way up to the top to grab the cooldown, then up here to grab ourselves singular dimension tuning. This makes it so that when we cast our fourth ability, we will have negative 5.6% skill cost, which is a nice touch. Then we're just going to go up here, grab the duration, and then honestly slap points into survivability. We'll grab a little bit of extra HP and the tree is basically done. Now let's have a talk about the weapons and inversions. So the Peacemaker, what is this here for? This is a movement stat stick with 40% sprint speed and 1 grapple core, so you can spider, and that's pretty much it. I have gone with running a stat stick style setup on here, with Defense Master being the key module that you'd want to focus on, along with Tactical Change. This is for more defense when you kill or when you are swapping it out. The Restored Relic being the main DPS, and if you want to use this in something like, for example, the Forbidden Sanctuary dungeon, this would be an excellent choice because this does plenty of damage. For the modules on the relic, this is what you would want to go with. So yeah, that's the modules right over there. Now for the dagger, same principle. This is a DPS weapon, the main thing being the 220% fire rate cores. And for the actual modules on here, this is what you would want to go with. You'd want to element match it, of course. I've not updated my dagger in a minute, so leave me alone. But yeah, you just want to make sure you're using the same element on the cores and the modules on the weapon. Next up, inversion reinforcements. For the inversions, I've gone with skill cost for the main one. Then I've also gone with HP recovery and pain suppression for more HP recovery, which doesn't really make that much of a difference, but this is what I've gone with. You could go with the shield particle reconfiguration one or something like that as well. So you've got a lot of options, which is very, very good. Now let's have a look at the ancestor mods for Ajax. Now the main way this build works is, if you look at this over here, you want as much duration as you can get. You can see here we've got 21%, which isn't too bad, but if you get an ancestor mod, something with like, let's say, gold duration up, you can obviously scale this significantly further. As you can see, I've got 23 seconds over there. Actually, that reminds me, I needed to make a trade to buy a red ancestor mod, and I started recording a video. Oops, that person's probably going to be pissed, but you know, the only thing you'd want is duration up, and honestly, cooldown on here would be nice, but it's not really necessary. Like we said, with Ajax's passive, this allows you to basically go all the way to the cooldown cap, which is the main thing you are going to want to do. So that's Ajax pretty much covered. Now if I was to just do this over here, something like that, and spam some abilities, you will see that we do in fact reach the cooldown cap, so that's the main thing. So how do you play Ajax? Essentially, honestly, all you gotta do is just go slam your 3 on your teammates, and that's pretty much it. When you do that, that's literally all you gotta do, and you can see defense simplification and shield diversification activating. So you're just going to want to spam your third ability, your fourth ability as well for that additional skill cost reduction. And you can see here, this is out of combat, but this is kind of what you're going to want to do with Ajax. Now, let me show you some gameplay of Ajax in his peak. So let's start off with the buffing concept. Now, I did say that this is a very, very important thing for your Descendants, and I do stand by that. If you look over here, you can see my bunny has 100% crit rate with my ancestor and with insight on. I've removed my ancestor mod, so I'm only running all 4 crit mods, and I still have 100%. In this instance, this is what will apply to every single Descendant. If you run all 4 crit modules, so just skill insight, skill concentration, emergency measures, and frontline, as you can see over here with Freyna as well. Freyna, because she has a 5%, it goes up to 84%. So an ancestor is actually needed for Freyna, but 84% is still a very, very viable crit rate for Freyna. So let me just show you what happens when you turn this up a little bit extra. So with my ancestor mod, I have 197% crit rate, and I will remove insight because it's a little bit above insight, and boom, 100%. This applies to basically every single Descendant, and if you've got a Descendant that has a crit damage buff, like Eugen, this would be a great buff to Eugen. It'd be a great buff to any Descendant in the game that uses skills effectively. You can just grab them, have an Ajax cast a third ability, which lasts for 20 seconds, and buff them. You can see here, my Luna's crit rate, as shown, is 50%. All 4 mods, no ancestor mods, just to show Ajax is buffing me, boom, 100%. Every single Descendant has this, so you can just slap this onto literally any Descendant and it does work. So let me show you some gameplay for Ajax buffing. Now, from my point of view, this is kind of what it's going to look like. So I'm just going to slap my third ability on with Ajax. You don't even need to spam it, you can just use it once, but at the same time, you can just, you know, slam it once and then you're literally done. In this instance, Apocalyptos is getting 100% crits with his Freyna, so he's just vibing and killing everything insanely fast. And yeah. Yeah, brave. From my understanding, I believe you can. But yeah, you can just see how this is. As far as a buffing build goes, if you do run into people in public whilst using this setup, one, you'll be decent enough to, you know, at least keep up with the squad. And if people in your pubs are running crit, which, let's be real, for majority of the Descendants, crit is the way, especially with these Ancestor mods, you're gonna have an absolutely amazing time, because, well, why bother using X crit setup, so on and so forth, when all you need is an Ajax, and this will basically cook everything as well. So this is how you would see it from basically the Ajax's perspective. So let me switch up the scene and show you what this is like from the Freyna's perspective. So with the Freyna's perspective, this is what you would be expecting as well. So from my perspective, I literally just go out. Apocalyptos did use his third ability on me. He gave me both buffs. And then from here, you can see I just go in with Venom Injection, cast my first ability, and boom, crits everywhere. For Freyna, Ajax is such a good companion. Luna is good as well, of course, don't get me wrong. Luna can buff way more than Ajax can. Ajax gives you skill cost and crit rate, whilst Luna gives you crit rate, crit damage, and skill modifier and stuff like that. But the sheer speed of the fact that Ajax can just press his third ability like 2 or 3 times, and you've got both buffs, and you're going in, it just makes Ajax incredibly convenient. So it's something that I think is honestly worthwhile investing in. I didn't expect Ajax to become the buff god, but I mean, hey ho, we're sitting in a crazy timeline, so it is what it is. But that's pretty much everything you need to know about buffing Ajax or support Ajax. Honestly, probably one of my favorite builds for Ajax currently, and I'm very glad he's got a viable build, and it can be used as a proper support Descendant, because the game revolves around fast-paced gameplay a lot of the time and just crazy damage numbers, and I'm glad that Ajax can keep up with this. But anyways guys, that's been this video, and I hope you have enjoyed. If you did, please just smash that like button. If you're new here, please do consider subscribing. I make plenty of videos on the first Descendant. If you got any questions, please just leave them in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to get back to you. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!